It's good to be up here again this year. Our store is one of milestones. We have a milestone, large or small, each and every day. It might be a ribbon cutting for one of the 234 new businesses that opened in Biloxi in the past 12 months. Yes, we've issued permits for 234 new businesses in the past year. They run the gamut: corporations and individuals, large and small retail, restaurants, home office businesses, and professional services. They are in all areas of the city. The ones you hear about the most are the multi-million-dollar openings like Margaritaville. Jimmy Buffett deserves to have a great presence here in Biloxi. And this year we'll hear about a big improvement in a new hotel there. Of course, the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino announced its new hotel tower, a $32.5 million investment, creating 250 construction jobs, 90 permanent jobs, and 154 hotel rooms, opening 11 months from now. Down at the Isle, the Golden Nugget is spending $150 million. We'll have new restaurants, new amenities, new meeting space, and excitement that will remind us of those trailblazing years of the casino industry 20 years ago. We saw a major player, Boyd Gaming, entering the market with the purchase of the IP, and the Palace continues to enjoy the benefits of its $53 million upgrade. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Tourism is our niche. But it's more than the casinos. We are a city with casinos. We are not a casino city. The casino resorts attract the people, but once they get here, they fall in love with our community. They find that we are so much more. Last year, I told you that we were changing the way people looked at Biloxi. I talked about the newly opened Visitor Center and the new downtown Library and Civic Center. These facilities are all enjoying milestones of their own each and every day. More than 50,000 tourists walked through the front door at the Visitor Center last year. The center also hosted 156 special events with more than 10,000 guests. As of right now, just 2 months into 2013, we have more events booked for this year than we had all of last year. We are guaranteed a record-breaking year at the Visitor Center. Every Saturday is booked throughout June, and we have only a few Saturdays available in July, August, and September. It's the same story over at the Civic Center on Howard Avenue. Every single Saturday is booked for the first half of this year. In all, we held 38 events at the Civic Center last year, with more than 20,000 people attending those events. Of the 21 annual events we held, 20 have already signed up to return this year. Carnival balls were about a fourth of our business. 5 balls with about 5,000 people. We also are the new home for Chefs of the Coast. We have proms from Biloxi High School, the Iberville, and St. Martin. We held sold-out boxing matches, the Chamber's Business Expo, corporate meetings, and so forth. Weddings have been big business for us at both facilities. Receptions, engagement parties, rehearsal dinners, and plenty of small wedding ceremonies. Rarely does a week go by when we don't have Judge Fountain or Judge Strong presiding over 2 or 3 small ceremonies at the Visitor Center. On December 12, 2012, the famous 12-12-12, we had 4 weddings before noon. And word is spreading this year we will host brides from California and Washington State. Let's not forget about the state-of-the-art library on Howard Avenue. In 18 months since it opened, we've had 112,000 people through the doors, and they've checked out more than 156,000 items. That's more than 3 books or DVDs for every citizen in Biloxi, and that's only one of our 3 libraries. We're also making improvements at both facilities. We're adding parking at the Civic Center. At the Visitor Center, we're creating Lighthouse Park with nature trails, gardens, and green space that will stretch over 7 acres, covering 3 blocks, from Gill Avenue all the way to Benaki Avenue. This park will be a slice of serenity that will be an ecotourism attraction for visitors and locals alike. And the statue of the explorer Pierre Lemoyne d'Iberville will be back on the visitor center lawn this year, along with the marble tablets and bricks displaying the names of our leading families. Like I said, one milestone after another, each and every day. Last year, I also told you about the upcoming openings of the new Walmart Supercenter, McElroy's, Sharkheads, the Biloxi Boardwalk Marina. Those were all tremendous milestones, and they are making an impact. The new Walmart helped Edgewater Mall enjoy a robust year, with new businesses open inside and outside the mall. We're working with Commissioner King to add sidewalks on Switzer Drive so we can connect Edgewater Mall, Edgewater Village, and the Walmart with nearly 1,200 apartments a block away. We're also continuing to see a surge of economic development downtown. The Half-Shell Oyster House has been joined by 8 restaurants and 8 art galleries or antique stores in the past 12 months. Yes, that's right. More than 16 small businesses opened downtown in the past year. We even have a couple of clothing stores in the Mary Mahoney's complex. Our goal is for more of the thousands of people south of Highway 90 at the Bow and the Hard Rock to come north of Highway 90 to explore the shops, galleries, restaurants, and downtown. That's why the Mardi Gras Museum is returning downtown this year. We had a peek in the museum last month when we made the transition from Christmas at Beauvoir to Carnival season. And what a great event Christmas at Beauvoir was. It called attention to the national landmark in our city. It created a new fourth quarter holiday tradition and reminded people that we have a presidential library open later this year. Another great idea was Main Street's Finally Friday. This block party attracts hundreds of people downtown each month. I also congratulate our other community partners for achieving milestones of their own. Keesler dedicated a new dormitory as Biloxi Hall to recognize the strong bond between the base and the community. After months of preparation, hundreds of Keesler Airmen cheered and one Blue Dragon danced when they heard the Air Force Inspector General deem the 81st Training Wing as excellent. Next month, the men and women at Keesler will find out how they did in the Commander-in-Chief's Installation Excellence Award. For the second year in a row, Keesler has been chosen as one of the 2 top military installations in the world. The base is up for a $1 million prize. Congratulations to Team Keesler, you are already winners in our book. And what can I say about the great things in Biloxi Public Schools? We have 6 schools in the Biloxi School District. 3 are star schools, and the other 3 are high-performing schools. They scored all A's and B's. In fact, our entire school district was named high-performing district. We were just a few points shy of being a star district. We jumped from the number 20 in the state to number 9. And when we say Biloxi means business when it comes to education, we mean it. In the state stock market games this year, Biloxi won first, second, and third place. I also congratulate the Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College on next month's opening of the Hospitality Resort Management Center at the Jeff Davis campus. The 50,000 square foot center is sort of a working laboratory to train future workers in our resort industry. There are 4 teaching kitchens, a 400-person conference center, computer labs, a full-size hotel room, classrooms, and a whole bunch more. When you walk in the front door, you're greeted by a full-size hotel front desk. Like I said, tourism is our niche, and we're making sure that we have a well-trained workforce. And talk about affordable housing. Our Biloxi Housing Authority served 575 families before Katrina. Today, it serves 1,700 families. Next month, the Housing Authority will begin leasing the 75 units on new family housing at Beauvoir Pass, the Oakfield development on Pass Road. One of the most impressive milestones is Seashore Oaks on the front beach. This facility has assisted living and market rate units, and that's not what you would typically find in public housing. Granite countertops, a beautiful community room, amenities such as housekeeping and on-site food service. There's also a swimming pool, on-site security, and of course that beautiful view of the Gulf of Mexico. You won't find public housing like that anywhere else in the country. Coast Transit saw its 4th straight year of record ridership. CTA served more than 1 million passengers in 2011 and 2012, and the numbers are already 6% higher this year. This is the state's largest public transit system, and its 2 most popular routes are right here in Biloxi. The Casino Hopper with the 22,000 passengers a month and the Pass Road route. CTA also worked with Main Street on the Rue Magnolia Gateway. And we can all see the new Rodenberg Avenue Comfort Station taking shape on West Beach. The Catholic Diocese will open the Santa Maria del Mar senior housing off of Cedar Lake later this year. It will be just around the corner from where Health Management, the parent company of Biloxi Regional Medical Center, wants to construct a $132 million state-of-the-art medical center. A few months ago, the state gave the green light for the 144-bed hospital. But hospitals in neighboring cities have appealed, so we're going to have to wait a few months for the groundbreaking. When we see competition like this in South Mississippi, some people ask, can't we just all get along? Which brings me to another issue, annexation. Annexation is how a city grows. Were it not for the annexation, the west end of our city today would be the Biloxi Lighthouse. We annexed Wool Market and Eagle Point in 1999 because we needed room to grow, and that was our path of growth. At the time, there was no land use plan or zoning for Eagle Point or Wool Market. If you had a $500,000 home, someone could have built a junkyard right next to you. We have invested tens of millions in city services in the annexed area. And yes, water and sewer service. Just in the past year, we spent $3 million installing sewer service. And let's talk about the 2 recent annexation cases. Biloxi did not initiate either one of them. D'Iberville tried to annex land that would have boxed us in on the northeast. Then Gulfport tried to annex land, and that would have boxed us in on the northwest. D'Iberville lost its case, but continues to appeal. Gulfport lost its case too, but they say they're going to try again. Now, as we prepare to present our case, they want us to walk away, to throw away the time and money we've invested in this. Everyone has had their day at court, and now it's Biloxi's turn. To walk away would be irresponsible, and I'm glad that all 7 members of the City Council have agreed with me. Our role in city government, as we said time and again, is to set the table for economic development. Last year, we also did some clearing of the table. Our Katrina Blight program removed 22 eyesores and brought 24 other buildings up to code and ready for businesses. These are certainly milestones, large and small, but nothing is going to be more high profile than what we'll be seeing as you come into Biloxi from across the Biloxi Bay Bridge. Over the next several months at Point Cadet, the new waterfront park will be taking shape with the new pavilion, splash pad, green space, and a promenade. In the Maritime Seafood Industry Museum, Boat in a Bottle concept will let people know that they have arrived at something special, by day and by night. This new gateway is only one bright spot along our waterfront. We rebuilt, rewired, rededicated, and renamed the Lighthouse Fishing Docks as the Sherman Caning Back Bay Fishing Docks. The new piers, ramps, and parking at Forest Avenue and Coon Street should be completed this summer. In fact, we would be completed were it not for Hurricane Isaac. Speaking of Isaac, we expect to have repairs at the end of the Lighthouse Pier completed this summer. The commercial fishing dock next to Small Craft Harbor will be completed in a couple of months, and the Small Craft Harbor bait shop and fuel dock will be completed in the spring. The Point Cadet Fishing Bridge will be open within the next several weeks. This is a $9 million milestone, built back better than it ever was. We have lights for nighttime fishing, ADA sidewalks and turnarounds at the midway point and at the end of the bridge. It's going to be a fishing bridge and a pelican watching paradise. It was a cold and windy day when we dedicated the Pops Ferry Causeway Park, but the reception has been very warm for the new boat ramp and piers, the waterfront promenade, and the new lighting and the benches. This is a great place to fish or watch a beautiful sunset. We're working on a grant to build nature trails, an interpretive center, and gardens with educational exhibits. We hope to have a great 10-acre nature preserve along the Pops Ferry waterfront. Of course, every time we mention Pops Ferry, people think about how we need a new Pops Ferry bridge. Well, let's talk about a Pops Ferry bridge. All of Pops Ferry. Remember the nightmare of the narrow two-lane Pops Ferry Road we used to have to endure. We widened Pops Ferry Road from Cedar Lake all the way to the bridge. We can see the success in the Cedar Pops corridor, and more is on its way. We're clearing land now for the 5-laning of Pops Ferry from Cedar Lake to the city limits with Dallaville. At the south end of Pops Ferry, we are designing a 4-lane boulevard that will take you all the way to Highway 90. This spring, we will be ready to unveil the preferred route, and we'll be ready to begin acquiring right-of-way. We're making progress on the new Pops Ferry Bridge. What we know is the new bridge will be 65 feet tall at its highest point, about as high as the I-110 high-rise. It will have to be open maybe 1 or 2 times a week. We also know that the big bridge is going to cost $70 million in construction alone. Right now, a survey team is determining the right-of-way we'll need. These 3 projects, widening north end of Pops Ferry, extending the south end to Highway 90, and building a new bridge, would be huge milestones that have been years in the making. You're talking about $100 million in public money. I'm glad to hear that Commissioner King wants to see the idea of a new I-10 connector revived and made a priority. We need a new connector to Biloxi, and making use of the improved Pops Ferry Road makes sense. Everyone is also anxious to see more of our massive $355 million infrastructure work. You know it's $355 million. You know it's 1 million feet of water, sewer, and drainage lines. You know it's about 100 miles of city streets. What some of you may not know is when it will be in your neighborhood. Whether if you live in Sunkist or Ancient Oaks, you're driving on new streets, we've completed our work there. If you live in Lake Villa or north of Old Bay Road, you know that we're being installing new drainage and water sewer lines. We'll be wrapping up that work in the next several weeks. We've never said this would be easy, nor would it be overnight. We're doing 20 years worth of work in 3 to 5 years. Some of our milestones are a marathon, not a sprint. Construction along Back Bay, around Kensington Drive, should be underway. In West Biloxi, at Goose Point, Rummymede, and Channelmark, we received bids last week, and we expect to begin work in weeks. At Pin Oak, Eagle Point, and East Shorecrest, and South Brazier, we expect to be out for bids. The largest share of our work will be in East Biloxi. These are massive contracts, $130 million north of the railroad and $90 million south of the railroad. We'll be doing another $30 million worth of work along Highway 90, all the way to West Beach. These contracts depend on CSX permits and Highway 90 easements. Our goal is to have all of these projects underway this year. We have acquired 26 of the 34 easements needed to extend the Howard Avenue streetscape all the way to Myrtle Street. The design is 95% complete, and we expect FEMA to allow construction to begin this year. You'll see the new sidewalks, new ornamental streetlights, and other amenities on Howard Avenue. But not all of our milestones are as obvious as others. For instance, when you turn on that faucet in the kitchen and you don't think about where the water comes from, This summer, we'll be wrapping up $3 million in repairs to the city water wells that serve homes and businesses in Biloxi. We're more than 50% complete with digital water meters throughout the city. Instead of meter readers canvassing the city each month, a sophisticated computer network will provide 24/7 monitoring of our water system. We'll have more accurate bills. If we have a water leak, we'll spot it right away. Incidentally, we are still a couple thousand customers short of the 15,000 water department customers we had the day Katrina struck. In fact, let's talk for a moment about pre-Katrina Biloxi and where we are today, 7.5 years later. The census says we have almost 45,000 residents, or 13% below the more than 50,000 we had when Katrina hit. The year before the storm, we had $54 million to operate the city. Last year, we had $52 million to run the city. 2 of our 3 revenue streams, sales tax revenue and gaming tax revenue, are off from their pre-Katrina levels. Remember, the country has been suffering through the worst financial times since the Great Depression. But still, we saw 234 new businesses in Biloxi last year. We issued $75 million in building permits, and our city departments are doing more with less. Daily attendance at the natatorium, our indoor Olympic-sized swimming pool, reached 20,000 last year, plus another 10,000 swimmers at the Snyder Center. Our Biloxi elite swim team jumped from 98 to 150 swimmers, and we went from 60 to 80 on the Red Tide team. We gave 456 swimming lessons last year, and a 40% increase. Why all of the interest? We think it was the 2012 Olympics and the gold medals the U.S. won in swimming. Our police and fire departments handled 106,000 calls for service last year, a 32% increase. Think about that. Almost 300 times a day, our public safety people respond to a 911 call, a motorist in need, a fire alarm, a medical emergency, or a traffic stop. 69% of the calls to the fire department are emergency medical calls. We had 3-year lows in traffic crashes and traffic fatalities last year. Our overall response time averages 1.7 minutes in the police department, which is remarkable, and it's 3.5 minutes for our fire department on emergency calls. Our bomb squad has now worked 2 Super Bowls. For the record, we did not touch the light switch at the Superdome. Our firefighters performed nearly 30,000 hours of training this past year, tested all aerial ladders and trucks, and every one of our firefighters was recertified in CPR and operating AED devices. We put in stronger and better looking roofs on stations at Veterans Avenue, Pass Road, and Pops Ferry Road. Our network of tornado warning towers had its first deployment in March when we warned citizens of tornadoes, which damaged residents in North Biloxi. I also want to thank our fire and police departments for the fundraising work they did and the trip they took to help victims of Superstorm Sandy. We had a number of businesses like the Palace, the Hard Rock, and the Bow help in this effort too. We know the long road those folks have in front of them. Since Katrina, we spent more than $175 million in rebuilding our city. That's an average of about $22 million a year on major construction and repairs to city facilities. Right now, we're constructing an $8.5 million public works complex to replace the old dilapidated warehouse that was damaged by Katrina. Our new complex will have 4 buildings: an administrative building, a warehouse, a shop building, and a vehicle maintenance facility. This is all being built on the site north of the railroad and will be completed in 19 months. Our Public Works Department oversaw dozens of streets and drainage repairs in the past year. You see the new traffic signals, turning lanes, and new sidewalks at busy Pass Road intersections. And let me say that I'm proud of what we're seeing in West Biloxi. Look at what the Mladinich family has done with shops at Pops Ferry, or what they've done with the former Blockbuster at Beauvoir and Pass Road. And of course, we're all anticipating the opening of the White Pillars, which is destined to become a local, state, and national landmark.
It's one Mladenich milestone after another.
The same thing is occurring in downtown by a group known as the Revue. These local businesswomen, 25 in all, are dedicated to the resurgence of downtown retail and arts. So far, they have purchased, rehabbed, and reopened 4 downtown sites, and they've done all this in 18 months. This is the kind of hard work and dedication that has made Biloxi the great place that it is to live and work. Finally, all of these accomplishments we have enjoyed and the challenges that we face, we must remember to cherish the blessings we have each and every day. The beauty of our surroundings, the majestic sunsets, the deep sea and freshwater fishing, championship golf, the great restaurants and shops, the small town charm, the climate that is so inviting to our visitors, the many traditions and events that celebrate our heritage and our culture. A few weeks ago, we enjoyed another great Mardi Gras parade, and now we're going to gear up for a great St. Patrick's Day. We've seen the birth and growth of events like Cruising the Coast, and the arrival of others like Christmas at Beauvoir. 300 people turned out last year to see the resurrection of the Biloxi Sports Hall of Fame. It was a great evening. We had young and old athletes. Some were parents and grandparents, and it was a proud night for everyone. All of these things make us a special place. They define who we are. They make us an exciting and vibrant community. These are the reasons that people like Tom Wall and thousands of Keesler retirees decided to make Biloxi their home. These folks could have chosen to retire anywhere in the world, but they chose Biloxi. That says something special about us. I go back to what I have said time and again. It's the people. The people make Biloxi the special place that it is. The colorful, the outgoing, the hardworking, the fun-loving and caring, and the compassionate. I am proud to be one of you. I am proud to be your mayor each and every day.
So there you have it, the state of the city, a milestone, large or small, each and every day. So what do you think?